As the Crimson Blade attack comes to an end, a single Minotaur comes forth. Everyone sees it as a Minotaur champion. He raises his dual-headed axe and charges forth to slay those that harmed his comrades. As he approaches, putting all of his power into his axe, swings with all his might, the Black Knight steps forth, blocking the powerful blow with one hand, wielding his single-edged sword. As the blow collides with his blade, the ground beneath his feet cracks and compresses, leaving a cavity. He stands there looking at the Minotaur, who is now awestruck by the fact that the Black Knight's blade did not waver, even in the slightest, against his mighty blow. The Black Knight begins to push forward as the Minotaur is shoved back. Swinging his blade, he sends the Minotaur flying backwards into his own, colliding with them, knocking them to the ground. The Minotaur, terrified, sees the Black Knight draw his blade across his chest for a horizontal slash. Terrifying power compressing into his blade. Fear grips the Minotaur. He leaps into the air just as the blade swings true, slashing hundreds of beasts in twain with ease. The Minotaur, horrified by this fact, looks up just in time to see the Black Knight holding his blade over his head in two hands, compressing even greater black power into his blade, forming a horrifyingly powerful attack. As he swings his blade straight down, the Minotaur realizes it's all over. As the blade reaches out towards him, the black light emitted from its blade cuts forth into the world, slicing the clouds, the land, and all in its path in twain, leaving naught but a massive crater, carving the battlefield in half. All caught in its wake are dead. Everyone stands in awe at the omnipotent power of that single mighty blow. Without missing a beat, the Black Knight holds out his left hand towards the beasts on his side of the battlefield. Chains erupt from his hand, piercing right through the beasts. Dozens of them have been harpooned by these chains. As he grabs hold of them and yanks them towards him, cleaving them to pieces in mere moments. As he releases the chains, they turn to smoke. Black vapors evaporate. The Black Knight, seemingly without any hesitation, charges forth into their hordes, cutting them to pieces, showing no signs of exhaustion, no signs of slowing. He hacks and slashes without mercy or remorse. The beasts, now terrified, break free of the mind control, desperate to get away from this horrifying monster that now attacks. The dwarves, witnessing this awe-inspiring act, quickly rally their strength, not wishing to be outdone. The dwarven king, standing on the third parapet, calls out, "Summon the golems." The king's name is Darin, the final dwarven king, the one who calls all to arms. As 5 mighty golems come forth, in the middle, the dwarven champion stands on one of the golems' backs. Calling out, "Charge!" the golems race forward into the hordes of monsters. Darin, the king of the dwarves, proud, looks back to see if their secret weapon is ready yet, looking on as the runic cannons are still being prepped. Determined they will destroy this horde with all their might, he looks back to the battlefield to see the dwarves fighting with all their might, opening a path for the golems to breach. As the gates open and the golems press forward, they go into the battlefield, smashing and crushing all in their path. Trolls come forward thinking with their size that they can match the golems, but as they approach they realize these golems are much larger than they, and with a single downward strike the golem pulverizes the troll into nothing. The other beasts, seeing this, are terrified, but continue to attack. The golems quickly smashing and bashing their opponents with their bare hands and feet, without any signs of effort. The champion charges into the horde with his mighty golem, commanding the others to draw their weapons and strike with all they have. The golems, drawing their two-handed blades, quickly begin to swing and hack through the boards. Suddenly the ground trembles. All are terrified. What is happening? Suddenly a massive creature erupts from the earth. The head a skeletal, deer-like structure, and in its maw the unusual insectile beasts are found, being munched on. Tiny in its maw, its teeth like dragon's fangs, its eyes glowing with a neon green light, its body gangly and sickly green, long stretching arms with piercing claws for fingers, its torso that of a gaunt human, its body abnormal, its lower half that of some sort of spider, massive with giant legs piercing into the ground, its back end showing tendrils of black oozing horror, piercing and tearing at everything around it, killing any that get in its way. Towering over even mountains, this horrifying creature seemed to look at them as if they were nothing but food. After swallowing that which was in its mouth, it cried out, a horrifying sound. Countless who were too weak to withstand it dropped, collapsing to the ground dead. Dwarves, humans, monsters, all who were too weak to withstand it died. A blue light emerging from their corpses, flying towards the beast's mouth, were quickly swallowed. The creature, growing even stronger from this, stared down at them. It was eerie, as if it were trying to size them up. With one swing of its mighty hand, it struck a line of death through the monsters, cleaving the land in twain, leaving 5 distinct crevices, piercing even the mountains in the distance, leaving clear claw marks right through it, to which sky and sea could be seen on the other side. This was their true opponent. This was horror. The king quickly looked to the champion, who had already begun his advance with the golems, desperate to bring this creature low. In an instant the beast cried out in pain as one of its legs was cleaved clean through. But in that same instant, its hand swung, and in that moment a loud explosion erupted forth, and the champion was nowhere to be seen, seemingly erased from existence. The golem he had been upon, destroyed, a cloud of dust all that remained. This was true horror. If you'd like me to continue the story, please like, share, comment, and subscribe, and I will continue the story.